All right, Jason Gray, welcome back to the Jason Gray Show. All right, this is part one of a couple-part series we're going to do on the day in which I shadowed Meet Kevin on his jet, followed him and his team. And so let's talk about the first part of the day. And the first part of the day is really revolves heavily around House Hack, his program in regards to him buying properties at a wedge deal, him flipping them into more wedge deals and packaging them up and sounds like selling them to institutions. So I'm going to walk you through that day and then give you my 2 cents on how I felt about the process. So as most of you maybe know at this point in time, I've been doing mortgage lending for 29 years. And so I could relate with Kevin in regards to a lot of the conversations we're having, as well as we had a real estate agent that was a #1 real estate agent in Georgia that was with us as well. And then we had another gentleman who was in the tech industry. But the great thing is that we could sort of see what he was sort of seeing in our eyes, and looking at the numbers, it was actually good for us to sort of ask him a bunch of questions. So we took off from Oxnard Airport at 7:40 in the morning. We got into Redding, California. Redding, California is in Northern California, sort of a smaller market. It's north of Sacramento. Great, great community. If you take a look at all the things that you could do in regards to skiing and outside entertainment and everything like that, it was a great community. Everyone was super, super nice there. We met 2 really good quality real estate agents. We had met one in the first half, one in the second half. Each one of those 2 realtors showed us properties in different parts of Redding, California. The first realtor showed us some more low-end marketplace inventory, and then the other agent showed us sort of a mid-range inventory. Most of the homes that we looked at needed capital improvement, so they had a really good understanding what Kevin was looking for in regards to his program. They did their research, and they showed us some really good properties. So first half, low-end price points, a particular part of Redding, California, some of those homes were really beat up. They needed some help. And then we looked at another property that had sort of some capital improvements done to it, but there wasn't a huge price point difference. So when we walked away from that first agent, I really felt there wasn't enough of a margin. If you were to purchase these properties at the prices they were asking for, there wasn't enough margin to do the capital improvements and make a healthy profit. I think you're looking to make really 80 to 100 grand, $125,000 on a wedge deal. And you would be lucky if you're making $20,000 on some of these, and they're just not worth the risk. The second group of properties that we saw, there were some opportunities, but I don't know if those opportunities were big enough to get to that $80,000 mark or higher. They maybe were $40,000 to $60,000. And so that was a big struggle that I was dealing with, and I think Kevin felt sort of the same way a little bit. But again, this is first time visit to this marketplace, and Kevin's going from one state to another state to a different market. And for example, a couple of days ago he was up in Seattle. A couple of days before that he was in Colorado. He was in different parts of California looking at real estate. He's going to look at pretty much the whole West Coast, maybe everything west of the Mississippi, and sort of determine what marketplaces that he's going to purchase in. So if you take a look at the people that have invested their money into this House Hack program, right now he hasn't bought any real estate that I'm aware of through our conversations. It sounds like that money that he got in the capital, money that he got from all these investors, the money is just sitting in treasuries right now, which is yielding a 4 or 5 or 6% yield on his money right now. Let's say 5%. So the money is being utilized and at least gaining some appreciation out of that money. So it's just not sitting there and just cash. So that's great. Now, he hasn't deployed any money in regards to any marketplaces for 2 reasons. One, I think he feels that the market still hasn't softened all the way. So I think he's waiting for either mortgage interest rates to improve or the market to start turning around. I really, truly believe, in my personal opinion, this isn't Kevin's opinion, but my personal opinion, that by the end of the second quarter or beginning of the third quarter, I think mortgage rates will improve dramatically. And when they improve dramatically, I think that's going to be the opportunity for him to start pulling the trigger on something. In the meantime, he's grabbing, 3 days a week where he's going out in his jet to different marketplaces and looking at these properties. Now, he's offsetting some of this cost in regards to fuel cost and his carry cost through people like myself who've paid to shadow him for the day. He's made it crystal clear that House Hack is not paying for this jet, not paying for the payments on it, not paying for the fuel and the expenses of this stuff. He's funding this a different way, I'm assuming through his YouTube or his course member stuff or however he's funding it. But at the end of the day, Kevin is 100% committed to this House Hack program. He made it really crystal clear. The conversations would roll back to this is his main focus. This is his deal right now. He's all in on this. So if you have your capital invested in him or want to invest with him, talk to him and his team. I would feel very comfortable investing my personal money in with him on his team. The ideas that he has around it and his plan around how he plans on packaging these assets up, this is my understanding, and I could be wrong, but he takes this, let's start with $25 million. You take $25 million, you buy these wedge deals, you factor what the new value is on these wedge deals after you do the capital improvements to them, you get renters into them, and you package up $25 million in assets. And you figure, okay, now $25 million, I've turned that assets based on the capital improvements and the rents I'm receiving, this is worth now $35 million, right? As just a rough example. These are not hard numbers. Then he says, okay, now I got $35 million to invest. After he now sells this to an institution, then he goes, buys another tranche of properties and does it over again. And then he tries to turn that into $45 or $50 million and then continuously go. And you can see how he could scale this pretty quickly if he has the right real estate agents in those marketplaces. That's why he's creating these relationships, right? Gets the right contractors in these marketplaces and the right management in these marketplaces. So as soon as he figures out what marketplaces to go after, he will solidify those relationships with those realtors. So if you're a realtor in certain marketplaces, reach out to Kevin about having him come up and visit your marketplace. Same thing is make sure you have contractors that he can rely upon. So if he does get into your marketplace, those contractors are ready to go. He will pull the trigger fast, and he will expect fast action on those properties really quickly. It's not like he's going to say, oh, I need to go get in my private jet and look at this property first. He's going to rely upon you and your expertise and FaceTime videos to sort of say, okay, I'm ready to pull the trigger because I know this marketplace really well. I've already been in this marketplace 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and I feel very comfortable with the neighborhoods, the schools, the valuations we think we can get on the properties. So he's now right now in the time process right now, just sort of evaluating, sort of structuring things. The reason why he's recording these videos, by the way, as he's in these marketplaces, is he's wanting to keep that not for you, but for his team and his evaluation of these marketplaces. So he can walk back at these videos and say, oh my gosh, I remember why I hated this neighborhood. Oh my God, I remember why I love this neighborhood, or why I like this property, or why I think we should be investing in these markets. So this is like a catalog for him to sort of look back at too and say, okay, why did we like these certain things, and refresh his memory. So my personal opinion is this is great. This is really good. Like I said, he's fully committed to this program. It was a fascinating day in regards to this first half of the day. Like I said, both agents did a great job. I hope he releases the video. And I think if you're a realtor, and you're trying to get Kevin to do business with you and you're trying to get him in your marketplace, please watch that video. I think it's going to be a really good one. I think he had some really good quality agents with him in that video, and really good properties. Just not I think in my personal opinion, the right ones for what Kevin was looking for. Anyways, this is part 1. We're going to do part 2 later today. We're going to talk about maybe like 3 or 4 parts. If you like this content and you want to get some more information, like and subscribe. Private message me if you have any questions in regards to my experience as well. Like I said earlier in my video before, this was well worth the money if you're looking to expand your horizons in any industry and just get an insight of what these influencers do and what Kevin does. If you have the opportunity to shadow him for the day, I highly encourage it. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.